Hi guys, welcome back to another makeup video. Today we are doing a look inspired by Pinterest. I know, what a shock. But we're basically just going to get straight into it because why do we need this little intro part? I don't know. But I'm going to do a voiceover video today because I just don't feel like talking while doing my makeup. So hopefully I have time to do a voiceover before uploading. Anyway, I'm going to show you my little Pinterest inspo on my iPad because I actually quite enjoyed showing you last week on my iPad. I just felt like it looked better for the video than just inserting it in. Anyway, this is the makeup look we're inspired by. We're going to do a very full coverage base. And yeah, we're just going colourful. Bring back colourful makeup for summer. So let's get straight into it. For eyebrows, I'm just taking this Morphe like crayon pencil and I'm basically just filling in my brows, just putting a quick light dusting of the product through the brow. I don't want a very full brow, but I also didn't want a very fluffy brow, so we did a bit of an in-between one today and then just brushing that through. And then I'm taking this Morphe concealer. The shade is slightly too yellow for my skin tone, but I needed to use a bit of a darker concealer because I had a tiny bit of fake tan on. Not that you can tell because I'm really pale anyway, but just carving out the brow with that and blending it down onto the eyelid using a dense brush. This concealer is mostly to give us a base on the eyes ready for the eyeshadow to stick to. And then I'm just taking my e.l.f. Power Grip primer and rubbing that in all over my face because we're doing quite a full coverage skin today. And this bronzer is my Cream Pink Honey bronzer in the shade Fudge Glaze. And I just thought I'd do a bit of underpainting today. So we're starting with the bronzing, etc. before we go in with foundation, just so that we can build up that colour and get a nice heavy. And this is a Revolution Blush Bomb little cream blush. It's more of a liquid blush actually than a cream, but just applying quite a bit to the cheeks because, as I said, we're going to go over this with foundation anyway, so it will fade and not be that visible, so we're just going very heavy-handed. This is the Revolution Skin Silk Foundation. I love this foundation for full coverage makeup. Even though it's supposed to be a serum foundation, it's quite full coverage. It doesn't let much peek through, so I like to use this. And just blending that into my face with a brush to get a more seamless, full coverage look. Now I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer and just go over the areas where we bronzed before the foundation application. And we're using a powder this time just to almost set all the product in place, but also use it to build up that bronzer colour after we covered it with the foundation. And I just do a little bit down the sides of my nose. And this is a Powder Revolution blush in roughly the same shade we used in the liquid blush. And we're just doing the same thing as the bronzer, setting a powder over top. And then going in with my Morphe concealer again, but this time we're going under the eyes. I like to do the inner corners of my eyes and the outer corners of my eyes to brighten it up. And then just for a bit more of a full coverage highlighted look, we go down the centre points of the face. Like always, blending in those more large areas with a bigger brush. And then going in on the inner corners with a beauty blender like I always do. It's just easier to get a more full coverage inner corner with a small beauty blender, and it's very easy to access the inner corner as well than a brush. Then I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is my lighter shade of concealer and I'm just doing a little dot in the inner corner because I felt like we needed a bit more brightening and a bit of a lighter shade in the inner corner. setting that with translucent powder. I think this is the Revolution one. It's just a loose translucent powder, mostly setting under the eyes and just mattifying a bit more of the face to make sure the product stays on. And I didn't feel like my blush was blushing enough, so I took my painted powder blush from the palette and just went in with a bit of a lighter pink blush over top. Again, a Revolution highlighter. This is just a little pink one to go with the blush. It's a very subtle pink, but a very shimmery highlighter, so I love this highlighter. Just going in on my nose as well. And for eyes, this is the Made by Mitchell's colour case it's the Eclectics colour case. I'm taking the lightest green shade to lay down a base for my eyeshadow. And I'm just copying the Pinterest photo that I've seen the inspiration from. And we're sort of creating a wavy outline over the eye and bringing it down onto the under eye as well, because that's exactly how the look was. It's almost like a frame around the eye. And this is the little NYX palette I'm sure everyone used to have. I can't remember the specific name of it, but it's so old. And just taking this light green shade, even though it is quite a dark green compared to the actual base, we kind of wanted to switch it up because here I'm using the exact same colour we used on the base from that colour case to do a little outline, almost like a pastel outline of the waviness to recreate that Pinterest photo. And I did actually find using these cream oil paints quite hard to build up that colour around the eye, because they're quite thick, so you don't get a smooth line, and especially with all of your pores showing through, it's very hard to get a solid and smooth running line. So this would be better with a water-based product or liner, but I just did not have the products to do this, so we just stuck with it and we persevered, and as you can see, it was very difficult. And then I just put on some black MAC Stack mascara on both layers of my lashes. And onto lips, I'm taking my MAC lip liner. I believe this is the one in the shade Soar. It's the one I always use, so I'm pretty sure that's the shade. But I am just lip lining my lips like I normally would. I do like to do a little overline, but very subtle, not too much. It almost feels like that is the line for my lip now, because I'm so used to the shape of where they go. But I don't think you can tell that they're that overlined, but I am not blessed in the lip department, but it'll do and they're fine, and I'm happy with them. And then this is the Revolution gloss. It's got like a shimmer in it. I don't know what it's called, but I was not expecting it to be this shimmery when I put it on, but it was unreal. And this is the finished makeup. I really love how this turned out. I hope you guys did too, and there's plenty more content over on my other social medias of this makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this little makeup look, and I think we just bring back the coloured makeups for summer or just all year round. Love colourful makeup, but anyway, that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more content of this makeup look, there will be plenty over on my TikTok and my Instagram account, which are all linked in the description box below. And I will see you guys back here next week for another makeup video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.